Mommy.
How are you?
I just had a really big presentation.
Yes, and?
It was fine, and I never want to do it again.
Okay.
Well, what else did I do today? I woke up, I went to class, washed my sheets, and now I'm here. How are you?
Welcome to the Social Dialogue Podcast. We're a mother-daughter team, both working in the world of social media management.
Join us as we share our different perspectives on life today, including trends, fashion, friendships, and career, and how social media impacts it all. Together, we bring two perspectives to one conversation.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
And we're excited to bring you this new episode of the Social Dialogue Podcast. We're excited that today we are having the rest of my team here. And Jenna, of course, has grown up knowing these two ladies. It's most of the team. Meredith is not here. Meredith would kill me if I invited her on a podcast. She likes to remain behind the scenes. But today we have Lindsay and Candace on. Lindsay and Candace are the reason that Big Voice Social, my social media agency, runs. It's the reason that we do everything we do. On a weekly basis, I would say that Candace makes us shine, makes our clients shine on Instagram and in the video world. Lindsay focuses more on Facebook and LinkedIn. Everybody works on graphics. Everybody works on storytelling, and we all do a lot of customer service. So we're excited that you're both here. I consider you both the specialists in what you do. I'm just out there selling everything. And sometimes I get questions like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, I'll get back to you. And then I text them and I'm like, can we do this? So once in a while, though, through the years, we have leaned on our former intern, Jenna, to say, can we do this? So, Jenna, some of your skills have way surpassed all of ours, but we might have a throwdown between you and Candace on Instagram versus TikTok.
Let's do it.
So,
I'm ready.
But we're glad you both are here. I'm sure you are. Glad you're both here. And just, it doesn't have to be a special time of the year for me to just say thank you for all you both, everything that both of you do. The reason we sparkle and shine as an agency is because of you guys. So thank you. Our clients love you. Okay, so that's the other business. This is the business that doesn't make any money. This is just fun. Jenna and I are just having a blast over here on the Social Dialogue.
Mom, I call it your passion project.
What? It is. It's really fun. And sometimes I'm like, I have work to do. Like yesterday, I had to get that article ready to publish for our client. And I was like, but I have to edit this video. But I got the article published before I edited. So let's talk a little bit about social. And I think we're all coming at it sort of, three of us are sort of with the same perspective. And Jenna brings a whole new generation and set of skills to it. But in general, we always talk about social being authentic. So I just kind of want to open the floor and talk about what that means. And so for the small business owners out there, or even large businesses and their marketing directors, what does it mean to be authentic on social media? Who wants to go first?
Well, you have to know who you are. And not just you personally, of course. And even if you're the owner of a business, Shane, it's not just about, you're not just Big Voice Social. It's all of us. And you have to know who your team is. And you have to know the personality of your business and always stay authentic to that. It's important to show who you are, not just what you do, not just your products, not just your services, but truly at the core, your people and who you are.
Yeah, I think it's important to, like Candace said, to be a person, not just, here's my product, sell, sell, sell. Yes, that's what you're doing. You're selling a product, but you want people to know there's a real person behind that product. So I think that's important too, to show that personality.
And I know Jenna, she's starting her job hunt right now, and she is hoping to work in-house for a big company, for a brand, which I know, Candace, of the four of us here, you're the one that has had the experience with that. But what would you both say as far as, because I know also, Lindsay, you've worked for some big brands as well, even in the retail space, which of course she's going into fashion or beauty, we hope. So, talking about that, when we take what we do for small businesses, how can she sort of think about that? If she lands that big job in a big company, how can those companies do the same thing and really show their authenticity of their team?
If you think of a brand as a person, every brand has a personality. And if you think of a brand as a person and approach it in that sense, who is this person? And then, of course, who are they talking to, which is extremely important. But it just boils all down to who it is. And if you always keep who that person is in mind, then you'll be able to keep that brand authenticity in shape the whole way through.
What are some of the brands that you really like? And I should have asked you this before so you could prep, but what are some of the brands out there that are like really doing a good job that you like to follow, that like you're excited when they come up?
Yeah, you should have asked that before so I could be prepared.
Yes, I'm trying to
Lindsay,
think.
go.
I don't know. I'd have to go through my Instagram right now, or my, whatever.
Wait, I have one.
Well, I know Lindsay's really into the UK basketball team, so we know that.
Wait, I have one. Aww.
Yes, Jenna?
Yeah.
Thank you for raising your hand.
I'm the youngest one here. I feel like I should raise my hand. I love Tarte's Instagram. They always just have something very different and unique, and they're always selling their product, but in a very interesting way, and sometimes unconventional. And while it's not always I don't always love the content, I love that it's out of the box. So I would say them.
What do you think about what they did when they did the trip to Tahiti? Wasn't it to Tahiti where they took a bunch
Here's
of
the thing about their
What did you think
freaking
about that whole
trips.
thing?
Here is my opinion. They have been doing these trips since I was 11 years old. I'm now 21. I know who the YouTubers are who went on these trips in the first place. This has been a thing. They've spent extravagant amount of money and they put their marketing budget into this. This is not a new thing for them. It just blew up on TikTok. So in my opinion, they're always going to be extravagant. They're always going to get hate. They've been getting hate for the past 10 years. But it's also publicity. It's also press. It's also going to get them sales. It's just like the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney ad. It was so negative, but it ended up actually boosting their sales. And it actually was a big success, even though it was misogynistic in a way. So in my opinion, these Trip and Tarte things are so stupid because they've been doing them, they work, and people just found out about them, and now they're all up in arms. It's like Dancing with the Stars, when the new fans come on and they, decide that they have the opinion now and the old fans don't matter anymore. This stuff has been going on, you're just new and out of the loop.
I'm feeling kind of seen since I'm at...
Okay, but I've educated you. That's the difference. I've educated you. There's some people don't know what they're talking about. You are not one of those people, Mom.
Well, depends on the topic. Okay, so here's a topic that I think we really can get into. So Jenna always tells me I'm late on everything. And it's not just social. I'll hear about some story and she's like, Mom, this is 3 weeks old. But I do feel like this is especially true on video, on social, because there's that meme that says, I'm not on TikTok, but I watched that on Instagram 3 weeks later, like a grown-up. And, I do lurk on TikTok. I mean, I'm there, I scroll through, but I learned very quickly when we launched this podcast, Jenna has to handle TikTok. I don't know what works on there. It's a different kind of algorithm. There's a lot of experimenting to do, but doing the other stuff. So she's doing TikTok. But how do you guys feel about the argument, Reels versus TikTok? Because I feel like she sees things the minute it comes out, and I see things days or weeks later.
TikTok is much more immediate. It is much more casual. It is... Honestly, the atmosphere of TikTok is more fun. It's a little bit more of a community. Instagram used to be that way a bit, and that has fallen more to TikTok. I don't want to say it's younger because there are really people of all ages on TikTok. It's not just for the young kids at all. There's a community and a place for everyone there, but it is definitely something that you have to be willing to put time and effort and be able to keep up with it. You can't just post once a week and expect for people to come. Not that you can with Instagram either, but Instagram with consistency, you're better. Whereas TikTok, you need to really go, and you have to be on top of it today, because if you're posting tomorrow about what happened today, then your account's gone.
Yeah, that's a great point. Lindsay, are you active on TikTok at all, or are you like me?
Yeah, I have a TikTok account, but I've never posted anything. So I basically just use it to watch videos. But it's just kind of funny. My mom and I will share Instagram Reels back and forth, and then if I'm on TikTok she doesn't have a TikTok. And so I'm like, well, crap, can I find that on Instagram to share that to her? So it is funny, kind of a generational thing. And like Candace said, it's all ages. If I'm looking for like a review of something, or, I'm looking to buy a certain beauty product or something, I'll go to TikTok and type it, and I'll see all the reviews. So that's what I like about it. And then of course that builds your algorithm, and then that, before you know it, that's all you're seeing on TikTok. But
wait,
yeah,
speaking of reviews, have you guys seen this new Yummy Bowl place? Mom, I sent you the TikTok. Have you guys heard of Yummy Bowl?
I haven't seen it.
No.
Okay, well, it's like the new Genghis Grill, and we have to go.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Team lunch. That's what I hear.
That's a great idea. Find out where it is. Okay.
I will. I sent it to you on TikTok.
That sounds good. Okay. All right. So here's my next question and Lindsay, this one's kind of more for you. Like this whole thing, like Jenna's looking for a full-time job. She's looking for 5 days a week, mostly in the office, but definitely hybrid, that kind of thing. But the gig economy is a real thing. There's plenty of people out there who kind of like working multiple positions. And I say it's more for you, Lindsay, than Candace, because even though we're kind of a part-time thing, this is the only one she's, but you've got a full-time job, and then you work with us as your side gig. So how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel that sort of fulfills your life? Does it fulfill your life? What kinds of things can you say about that kind of role? And I'm thinking about people Jenna's age who are getting ready to graduate. The job market's tough. Mm-hmm. Would you recommend that kind of gig economy, multiple job situations?
Well, it just kind of works for me just because of the stage of life I'm in. I'm single. I own my own place. I have a car payment. I have this. So I feel like, it takes 2 incomes to have a lot of things. And a lot of people have 2 incomes with a husband, and, and of course Apple screaming at me. But so, I've just made use of that. But I've also, for the most part, I've always had either college and a job, or 2 jobs, I feel like it works for me to have 2 incomes because I know the lifestyle that I like to live and what I can afford and can't. So I do like the flexibility of social media. I also work from home with my full-time job, so that gives me flexibility as well. So I like having that flexibility to be able to not come and go as I please, but kind of make my own schedule, so to speak, within reason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Helpful, having 2 aging parents and helping out in that, and helping out with my dad when I need to take him places. So it's nice having 2 flexible jobs. And I know that's not always the case, but having that ability to do those things.
Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention your brother. Of course, Jason was part of our team that for many years called you the Spencer twins.
Yes.
Could not get it through her middle school head that you were not the same age.
Yes.
But I do remember, he worked with us as a side gig. He had a full-time position. He was looking for not just extra income, but extra experience. And so the things that he did with us were bullet points on his resume that helped him move up the ladder in his real job. And I remember at one point, he was actually sitting next to the CEO of a worldwide insurance company, tweeting as that man. So, he got that experience from working with us. And so that was, made me feel good that he could do that. And I remember actually talking to him before he had an interview for that, Apple, for that job. And I was like, you can do this. You've got the skills. I was basically like letting him have it. Like, you can do this. And then he got it. And that was really good. That would be Lindsay's cat.
I'm so sorry.
Jason's cat that became Lindsay's cat, named Apple, because Jason worked in the Apple store also before all the other jobs.
And now she box and can't figure out how to get out of the.
So all of us work for a small business and many small businesses. And of course, I would say, I think you guys would agree with me that our people ask me, what is your best kind of client? And they're usually asking like, what niche, what industry? And I'm like, industry doesn't matter. It's the clients who get what we do, who understand the value in what we do, that we take time off their plate, and we create the content for them and then publish it, engage with their community, research all their keywords. We partner with other agencies. And I think that's the critical piece, that the clients who are our best clients are the ones who understand. They have to think like a big business. They have to have the PR team, the web SEO team, digital marketing. And we really love collaborating and working with these other agencies, all for the good of the client. And I think when you relay that and relate it to big business, which is what Jenna's looking to do, it seems to me like we're just all different departments, and we've all had jobs like that where we're in one department and we partner with the others. So I guess is there anything you would add to that about, as Jenna's starting her job hunt, what kinds of things she should be looking for a potential employer, since she's going into our industry, but she wants to go in the big city in a big company?
I would definitely look for an employer who understands that almost exactly what your mom just said, Jenna, is that social is a piece of the pie, and they don't expect one person to walk into social and do all of the marketing things. If you hear this job description and it's like 5 pages long and they're expecting you to write press releases and do SEO, and red flag, run away.
Yeah,
Because
That's good advice.
often starting positions, they want you to do everything, and that's not what social is.
Yeah, it's a matter of just definitely partnering with, others, Jenna. Partnering with others. I know when we get a new client and we find out about content, do we have to create the content, or do they have a portfolio that we can dig into that's already been created to kind of get us started? So I think that definitely helps in knowing what you're getting yourself into. Well, you have to create that content, or, are there things you can tap into? And definitely partnerships and working with other things at the company help as
You
well.
also, back to authenticity, you want a company who knows who they are. If you look at their social and you look at their other marketing materials and it seems that they're all over the place and they're really flailing, do you really want to be charged with pulling that all together? Because probably that's telling you something internal is flailing as well, and that may not be a good option to start out with.
Yeah, good point. And I think, Lindsay, to your point about do they have content? Sometimes we'll be talking to a potential client and they're like, well, we have so much content. We don't even know what to do with it. We have so much. And then we look at it and I'm like, you've got 3 pages on your website. You've got no blog. You've got no SEO. And all this content is from 8 years ago when someone else was in charge. You have nothing. We have to start from scratch. And we learned that because we had several clients early on who were like, we have so much content. There's so much here. I'm like, there's a lot in your head. There's not actual shareable, linkable content that we can actually build something out of. So, there's education there as well for these clients. But I think, every time we land a new client, and I'll call Meredith and give her the details, and here's how we bill, and here's what we're doing. And she's like, every time you do this, you get a little bit better. I'm like, we've been doing this since 2008. I would hope we continue to get that. Because there were a few in the beginning where the math was just not mathing.
Not mathing.
It didn't make sense. And I was like, how are we going to wing this? But I think we've also gotten to a place with the business where if they don't have the budget and they want us to overdo, the scope, it's just not going to work anymore. We just can't do it. So, we're in discussions with a couple right now about that. But that happens, scope creep is a real thing. And I get it, because as their businesses grow and they have more news to share and they have more than one thing to put on social a week, and now they're like, oh, and can you make this graphic, and can you come shoot video, and we need a new logo, and all of these things, and we don't do logos. So it definitely has evolved, and I do think that I've gotten better at selling it, and I think that our skills have just gotten honed. And I would like to point out, every time people ask us for examples of the work we do, I always want to show them video, because that's what they want to see. So Candace, I am forever indebted to you for your amazing skills.
Yes.
Thank you. And I love doing it, and so very much, as I say often, appreciate the opportunity, and the fact that I don't have to sell is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And really, there was a point when, I don't know if the software changed or the tools changed, but all of a sudden, our videos just started looking just really shiny and beautiful. And I can tell when I'm flipping through. I mean, you know how fast we all flip through on the phones. I can tell when it's one of ours. Like, I don't even realize I'm looking at a client, and it comes through, and I'm like, oh, that's one of ours. Really amazing job.
Thank you.
We're very grateful that you have that.
Yes. And that kind of takes me back, Shane, when we started with one of our current clients. I think you ran into somebody and they were like, I can tell they've changed vendors because it's so much better. And that was such a compliment, especially to what we do, is it just made their brand so much better. And that's what, love about what we do is, we can tell the story, and it, makes the brand look better, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jenna,
Love that.
Any other questions that you wanted to? I feel like I've been just kind of like leading the conversation. Do you have any questions you want to ask? Yeah, I know.
I guess we need to settle this once and for all. Instagram or TikTok? Both of you.
I think
I don't think it's an either or.
Yeah,
I think
I'm liking both.
it's very different.
Okay,
and
Reels
different purposes.
versus TikTok.
Reels versus TikTok. I think it depends. I feel like I engage with more brands on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I like to follow more individual creators on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah,
agree with that.
I think that's
Although I should say, I do like the small businesses that truly, like one of my favorite, I could have said this for your question earlier. One of my favorite small businesses to follow on TikTok right now is Shimp's Confectionery in Jeffersonville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up going there. I grew up in Southern Indiana the first 8 years of my life. My grandfather was always there. He was a big part of the Southern Indiana community. So I have a little bit of that. But I love watching candy being poured and broken. And I could watch that all day long.
Yeah, that is a great one. Yeah, we should tag them when we share this. That's a great one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good question, Jenna.
Thanks.
So, I guess you are getting ready to head off. Do you have a meeting for your internship?
Yeah,
Jenna
I have a
meets
call.
with her internships right after. So she is working on her homework and also working with her internship. And this semester, starting this spring, they just doubled her hours.
Ooh,
And she is
congrats.
handling- I'm not going to name the company because that's not appropriate, but they've handed over all of their social media content creation to their intern.
That's awesome.
So she is still working for her company in New York from last summer and doing it all from her apartment in Bloomington. So we'll see.
I love watching
Maybe
what you're
that's
doing,
what we'll
Jenna.
learn. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Great.
doing a great job, and I love
Really
seeing
cool.
it.
I'm just keep going at it,
Yeah,
You're doing a
Anything
great
can
job.
happen.
yeah. Anything can happen, and whatever happens with this position could roll into a full time. It could roll into a new position. I mean, we just don't know yet. So it's all very exciting and we're very proud because we have been watching you do this since you were
Yes.
11 or 12 YouTube videos, so which can still be found on YouTube.
Oh my. We gotta find those.
They don't need to know that.
Oh, no.
Oh.
All right. Well, ladies,
Funny.
thank you for joining us. This was
welcome.
really fun. It's fun to get together and talk about what we do and
Yes.
share it with our former intern over there. So, and Apple as well. Apple the cat.
Apple,
I don't
thanks
know
for
where
joining.
here she is. She ran away. Silly.
All right.
We sure
You
do.
guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for joining us on the Social Dialogue podcast. If you liked today's conversation, be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and a review and share it with a friend.
Keep the dialogue going with us on social. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jenna.
Thanks for listening.